forward, and we'll go ahead and get started, and she'll jump on here pretty quickly. She just texted me and said that it was almost done updating. So welcome to our Team Living Healthy and Fit team call. It is Wednesday, August 10th, so it is the 10th of the month. If you have not noticed in the group from the post and what we've been talking about, there are 15 different challenge packs. 15 of the best-selling challenge packs are on sale this month. So lots of things to share with people, lots of savings and opportunity to share with people and get them hooked up with the right program, and being able to offer it at an additional discount always helps. We do have the health bet coming up, which we are calling the biggest loser group for our team. And we are going to be putting that group together. It'll be 4 weeks long, so it'll start, it's supposed to kick off September 5th is when you have to start posting, or when challengers have to start posting to qualify. But we will actually start our group on Friday, September 2nd. And then it will run all the way through Friday, September 30th. So it will be the entire month of September to help get those people on track, help keep them, or help them find some balance while the school year is starting back off and people's lives get a little bit disrupted when that's going on for those who have kids. So just helping to get those people on track and help them get involved with the health bet that corporate is offering. So for your challengers to qualify, so the pot started at $1 million, and for every challenge pack sold from July 27th through August 29th, they're adding $5 to the pot. So that pot can raise, actually grow up to $3 million. That's where they're going to cap it off. When your challengers are plugged into the Challenge Tracker app and they log at least 3 workouts per week and at least 5 Shakeologies per week, they will then earn a piece of that pot. If it grows up to $3 million, then they will earn a piece of that $3 million for every person that keeps on track and logs all of that information over the course of September, okay? So to kind of get you updated, it looks like Marguerite is just jumping on, so her computer must be just about ready. There's your beautiful face. Okay, so now that we have our speaker, of course, when you're running behind and you're a little anxious about doing things, your computer decides to shut down and reboot and update right before you have to jump on your call. That's happened to me a couple times. So
I like come in, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go sit and like for 10 minutes and just breathe, and I'm like, what's going on?
Panic.
So that's my luck. You know.
So, take a breather, and we're here. Everything's good. I'm super excited for Marguerite to be on our call tonight, you guys. Marguerite and I met, I don't know,
December? Yeah,
like 7-8 months ago. Mm-hmm. And she joined in a challenge group. She had killer results. We actually talked about the coaching opportunity then because we just really hit things off. We both have 2 boys. Our birthdays are very close, like 2 days apart. And Beckett and Landon are both very close in age, and we just had a lot of things in common. So we hit things off very quickly. She wasn't quite ready to join as a coach right away. She wanted to join in a challenge group and see how things went first, and, you know, see if she could stick with it herself and see how she felt about the opportunity and kind of feel me out, I think, too. So she killed it with her first round with our challenge group. She decided to enroll to become a coach, and I'm sure many of you have seen her name on the leaderboard week after week after week because this girl is crushing it. She is a nurse, and she helps people get better when they are sick, but she wanted to do something bigger and help people before they got to that spot. She became passionate about helping to prevent people from getting into an unhealthy state. So she's killing it. She hit Success Starters, which means she has hit Success Club every single month for her first 3 months. She's actually been a coach for a little over 4 months and has been in Success Club for 4 months running now. She earned her free ticket to Summit for next year, so she's going to New Orleans for free, which is super exciting. And she's just been very consistent, you guys. So tonight I asked her to share a little bit about her story and what has helped her to progress so quickly and to really dive in and get started right off the bat and get started off the get-go, you guys, because this girl's already surpassed, like it took me almost 2 full years to get to where she's gotten in 4 months. That's incredible. That's driven and focus. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to you, girl. I'm going to mute myself, and I'm super excited to hear what you have to share with us.
Okay. Hi. I'm really excited you're all here to listen. I don't know if Corey told you before I got on, but so if this tells you anything, I got a C in public speaking in college. So that's how I feel about talking in front of people, but it's going to be good. It's going to be okay. Gave myself a little pep talk. It's going to be good. And then second of all, I would have got pretty for you guys, but we are moving. We just closed on our house Monday. So life is crazy right now. So this is what you get. But as Corey said, I'm a nurse. I have been a nurse since I graduated in December of 2011, and I passed my boards in March of 2012. And I knew I wanted to do something like big in nursing. I knew I just didn't I didn't want to be a floor nurse. I wanted a challenge. So I I applied to the critical care residency, which is kind of difficult to get in as a new grad, and I got accepted right away, which is super awesome. I was really excited. So I went through that residency, and then I was really excited about it because I wanted to do critical care. My ultimate goal is to be a flight nurse once my boys were a little older. So I started out in the coronary ICU at Toledo Hospital, which I know not all of you guys are from around here, but Toledo Hospital is like a tertiary care center, so we get flights and stuff from all over this area. It's a really busy place to work. I loved it at first. It was awesome. Really cool place to work, really intimidating as a new grad because it's busy, it's fast paced. You are dealing with life and death 24 hours a day in that unit. But I loved it. I loved that adrenaline rush, and that was what I wanted to do. I didn't want to just give people pills and, fill their water pitchers. I wanted to really make a difference in someone's life. I wanted to leave at the end of the day saying I made a difference. And you sure did leave there every day feeling like that. I worked there, it was about 2 years I worked there. And I loved it. Like I said, I learned a ton. It was a great learning experience. And then after working there, because that was my first job as a nurse, and after being there for a while, it just got, I guess you can say I got burned out. It was a 15-bed unit, and at any given time, half or more of our unit was below the age of 60, which to me, that's young. And they were just there for generally chronic issues. A lot of heart attacks, a lot of full arrests due to heart attacks, a lot of end-stage COPD, a lot of end-stage heart failure. And it just, it got to be a little kind of depressing at times going in, because you take care of these people and they're so young and their kids are so young. I mean, these are patients that are like my mom's age. My mom's 58, and they're coming in and they're, had big heart attacks. And even if they lived, they went home and their quality of life was really poor. It was really sad. And you knew that their life was going to be forever altered at 50, 40, 30 years old sometimes. I've had patients come in that were 30 years old and had huge, massive heart attacks. And, their quality of life was really poor from there on out. So that's, that kind of, I guess, started to wear on me a little bit, and it kind of made it harder to go into that job day after day, because like I said, you got to leave in the morning. I got to leave sometimes saying I kept someone alive for 12 hours, but I mean, is alive really on, a ventilator and, artificial, nutrition through a tube feed and medicines through their IV to keep their heart pumping. Is that really alive? It's not. It's not. And it took me a while to figure that out. And I said that there's so much we can do before people get to this point. And I think there's just so much that people don't know. There's so much I didn't know. I learned a lot, obviously, becoming a nurse, but especially doing this too, there's just so much that I've learned, and I'm still learning every day as I do this. So that's kind of, I guess, where this came from. I've always kind of had passion for nutrition, especially with my boys. But then once I, got started as a nurse, I was like, people just need to be educated more. People just need to know that there's easy things that they can do in their life that'll make such a difference in the long run. But anyways, got ahead of myself a little bit there. So that's kind of where my background as a nurse and stuff like that. So, and I have notes on my phone, so if you're wondering why I keep looking down, but so just let's see, fast forward or rewind a little bit, I guess rather. So anyways, I'm super honored that Corey asked me to do this call tonight. When she had initially asked me, I was like, girl, I don't know about that. I guess I just really felt like unworthy of sitting here in front of you all. I haven't been doing this very long myself. You know, I know there are many of you here that have been doing this much longer than I am. So I just, you know, I'm very new, and I just want to thank all you guys for being here, you know, and taking the time to listen to what I have to say. You know, it's awesome. And I know Corey also said, you know, this too, but we just initially hit it off. We hit it off right away. Back in December, I think it was December when we had met, you know, she asked me about a challenge group and stuff. And we just, you know, you have those effortless conversations with people, and me and Corey just, you know, hit it off. We have, you know, little kids the same age, like she said, and stuff like that. So I joined the challenge group with her. I had actually bought the 21-day fix, about a year ago. And, you know, like most people kind of just sat around, and I would do it a couple days and then stop doing it. And, you know, it was a lot of work. So I just didn't want to do that. So she asked me to join the group, and I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do it. You know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to give it a try. You know, I think I'm ready to really commit to it. You know, at that point I had gotten a back injury at work, and I was just, aside from being kind of, down and depressed because I was off work, I was overweight, I didn't feel like doing anything at all. And I just kind of sat around and felt like a slug. And I was like, you know what? I feel miserable whether I move or whether I don't move because of my back. I'm just going to exercise and suck it up. It'll be fine. So I joined the challenge group, and then it was, you know, shortly into that, that she asked me about coaching, and I was like, I don't know about that. Let me see how this goes, and then we'll talk about it. You know, it's like, I just have a really long way to go myself, you know, with my like health and fitness and stuff like that. So then she had said, well, how about you watch this video and let me know what you think? So I did. And I remember sitting there watching it, and I was like, I'm a note taker. You know, nursing school will do that too. So I was sitting there and I was just watching it, you know, like writing down stuff. And I was almost like, it was like a Twilight Zone. I was almost in awe watching it because her, you know, the things she had described about, you know, when she was younger and her family, you know, not really putting like a huge emphasis on nutrition and stuff like that. And that was my family. I grew up with a single mom. And, you know, I know a lot of times she did what she had to do just to make sure we had groceries sometimes. Whether it was macaroni and cheese or bologna sandwiches, we had food to eat, and that's what mattered at the time, and we ate what we were fed. You know, it was never really talked about, you know, this is healthy and you should eat that, or you should eat this like in moderation because it's not very good for you and stuff like that. So that really hit home with me when Corey had said that, because and I think that's why with my boys, I've always kind of stressed nutrition with them, because I feel that had I been, you know, talked to more about that, then I probably would have ended up very, you know, I wouldn't have struggled so much in my teenage years. And I don't want that for them. You know, I'm sure most of you know, being self-conscious is an awful thing. And I know it's not as big for boys as girls, but still it's just an awful feeling to go to school or work or wherever you are and compare yourself to the people around you. It's just, no one likes feeling like that. No one likes feeling like they're not as attractive or whatever, you know, around your peers because you wear a bigger pant size or whatever it may be. So I just didn't want that for them. So I was just, that video just really hit home with me. So I said, okay, you know, let's give it a shot. We'll see what happens. I guess with my like weight, you know, I've always struggled with my weight for as long as I can remember. At 4 years old, I was diagnosed with hypothyroid. I don't know if many of you guys know what that is, but just your thyroid, you know, regulates your metabolism. And they found mine at 4. My mom took me in for a physical, and I was like 30 pounds and like 36 inches tall. That's just really tiny. My mom just thought I was little, and they're like, nope, she's not growing. So I started taking Synthroid at a really young age. And for a while, I was just really, really tiny, like itty bitty. Well, then my height stopped, but my weight kept obviously going up, you know, and I can remember probably at 9 or 10 years old going to a doctor's appointment, and my doctor telling my mom, I remember looking at that growth chart and him saying, well, her height's here about 10%, but her weight's here about 85 to 90%. So, you really got to make sure you're watching what she's eating. And I can still to this day remember that day so clearly. And I think from that moment on, I was always just really conscious of what I ate. And I can remember like aunts and stuff making comments like grabbing my side or something like, oh, you're filling out or stuff like that. And I just always remember that. And it was a horrible feeling. It was a horrible feeling growing up. So then I got to high school and I had grew a little more. And then at that point I had been active in sports and stuff. So I think I had thinned out a little bit just from being active, but I still didn't eat any better. I just had probably a better metabolism from being active and stuff. And then I tried out for cheerleading and I made it. And so I was a cheerleader and I loved it. I really did. But man, if you want to talk about self-confidence and being self-conscious of your body, and I was probably like a size 6 or 8, but every other cheerleader was like a size 0. So you looking back on it, I wasn't extremely overweight, but I just compared myself to them, and I remember just thinking like, oh, I wish I could be that skinny. I wish I could be skinny. Like I just wanted to be. That's all I wanted to be. I just wanted to be skinny so bad, and I struggled with that in high school, and it really. I was very self-confident in high school. I had good high school years. I had a lot of friends and stuff like that, but that was just something I really struggled with because I just always felt different no matter what. So then I guess, fast forward from there, I graduated and started going to nursing school, and me and my high school sweetheart were engaged. And then I was in college, he was in college, and then I was like 20 probably. And then at this point I started putting weight on because I stopped being so active and I ate like crap. I was in nursing school. I bet I was pushing 175 pounds. Mind you, I'm 5 foot tall. So my periods stopped and I was like, oh, what's going on? So sorry if there's any guys on the call. So I went to the doctors and I was, told her what had happened because it had been like 4 or 5 months at times like that I wouldn't have one. And she had told me that I had what was called PCOS, which I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, polycystic ovarian syndrome. And it's a form of insulin resistance. And basically your ovaries just start forming these cysts, which stop you from ovulating, which obviously stop you from having periods. And it's generally associated with being overweight. And that just really, man, that was rough. That was a tough pill to swallow there. And then she said, you could potentially have issues with conceiving, with having kids. And she said, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. And that was really hard for me too, especially at 20 years old, because there's nothing else I wanted more than to be a mom. I wanted 4 kids. I had that planned out. I just wanted to be a mom, more than anything in the world. So that was really hard. So, and even still, I said, oh, I need to exercise and watch what I eat. But that meant like crash dieting for a few weeks. So I'm going to try this Atkins diet. Everyone's doing it. Oh, I'm not going to eat carbs. And that lasted for like 5 minutes, because no one can not eat carbs for a long period of time. So, I love bread. I think everyone else does too. Let's be real. So, I continued to go through nursing school, and surprise, I got pregnant. I was just about to start my first semester of nursing school, and I wasn't feeling good. And I ended up being actually like 13 weeks along when I found out, because I didn't think I could get pregnant, I guess, even though I was in nursing school. Looking back, that's probably really dumb. But I was pregnant. And I had Tanner. I had Tanner, and then 10 days later, I went back to school. I had a C-section, and 10 days later, I went back to school. So you can imagine that's not stressful at all, the newborn in nursing school. So I actually, when I delivered him, I was probably near 200 pounds, if not more, because before I had him, I was 170 pounds probably. So I delivered him. and I was still around 180, 185 after I had him. Went through nursing school, and then my last semester of nursing school, me and his dad split up, and that was tough, obviously. And as a, someone that's never had a healthy relationship with food, what do? You eat to console yourself, because why not? So I went through nursing school and graduated, and was still overweight, pretty significantly overweight. Passed my boards, became a nurse, and then I decided, I'm gonna try to, be healthy and stuff. And I started taking actually, I never really talked about this, but I started taking these diet pills that a girl that I went to college with was taking. And actually, now that I'm a nurse, I know that they are so bad for you. They're, I would guess it's probably comparison to like a lower, I guess you could probably compare it to like cocaine, but not that strong. But basically it's just a stimulant. It just speeds up your heart and everything like that. And I felt awful every time I took it, but I lost weight. It stimulates your appetite. And I was like, oh, this is easy. I don't have to do anything. And I just don't eat and lose weight. And I did lose weight. And I did started exercising a little bit, but nothing consistently. But I felt better because I lost weight. And then that's when I had met Scott at the hospital where I was working at, Toledo Hospital. So I was working at the hospital, met him, and we hit it off. And he was really good looking. He was really into fitness and the gym, and he was really fit and stuff. And I think that kind of even more made me even more conscious of my weight and stuff like that. So I really wasn't healthy. When I was losing weight at that time. We ended up getting engaged really quick. We got married and then quickly got pregnant with Landon. I had a really difficult pregnancy with him. I didn't gain a ton actually because I was so sick, but I had a really difficult pregnancy with him. Had Landon, and then our relationship was really hard. It was he had addiction issues, we'll just say that. And that was really hard on me, and being pregnant and stuff like that. So I think I started to eat because, it was a form of just, emotional eating and stuff like that. And at night, PJ. And so by the time I actually had my son, it was our relationship was really not in a good place. I had my son, and then it was I was basically ready to walk away from the marriage at that point. I'm trying to think. We'll just fast forward a little bit to about 8 weeks. It was almost time for me to go back to work, and we'll just say he made poor choices due to being under the influence of alcohol. And those choices landed him in prison while my son was 9 weeks old. I had just gone back to work from maternity leave. So due to the choices he had made, he was arrested. His parents bailed him out of jail. And then from that point on, he was not allowed to see the baby, and his family basically fell off the face of the earth there for a while. So I had left the house that we had lived in, put everything in my car that I could fit, and went to my mom's. So I had no home, a new baby that I was nursing. I'd been back to work for 2 weeks. And I had, this person that I had married and had a home with, that was potentially going to be going to prison at that time. I was working night shift. So as you can imagine, life was a little stressful at that point. And looking back on it, I really don't know how I did it. I guess you do what you have to do, to survive and keep going. And, but it was hard. It was really hard. So I just had a baby, and, I was at work. I was working night shift, and I gained weight, and I didn't lose much of the baby weight or anything. And that was that. He was sentenced to prison, and I raised Landon by myself since he was 9 weeks old. And it's fine now. Life is good now, but that just kind of led me. That was a really long story, but that just kind of, I think it's kind of important to know where someone came from, so you can kind of understand where they've been. And I think that plays a lot into their story. So that was really hard. And I was just still at a point where I was, yes, that is very true. It's where your drive comes from. You have no choice but to just get up every day and do it. And there are days when I think that had I not had, the baby, I probably wouldn't have got out of bed. But I had to. I had no choice. There was no other parent but me to take care of this new baby. So I had to get up and go on, even though I didn't want to. So there were many days and nights I didn't make dinner. I got lots of fast food. I was working night shift. We ordered pizza and ordered food all the time, and life was just really hectic. And I had already felt bad that I was a single mom, and I felt guilty for taking time away from the boys for myself to go and exercise and stuff like that. We even had a Y membership, and I felt guilty. I felt like since I was, especially Landon, I was his only parent, that I should totally devote myself to him 100%. And I would go days without sleeping sometimes because I would, be awake all day, go to work at night, come home, have to take care of Landon. I'd nap for 2 or 3 hours when he napped. And then I'd wake up, or I'd then go back into work that night. And I would tell people I'd eat to stay awake, I think, at night sometimes. So I was just really not in a good place. I was just in survival mode there for a while. And then I'd hurt my back at work. I had that back injury, probably due to the fact that I was, overweight too. It probably didn't help, overweight, out of shape. And I just was like, man, this is awful. I'm like 30 years old and I feel like I'm 50. I can hardly walk. And that's when I said, I have to do this. I have to do this for my family, and I have to do this for these babies. And what kind of mom am I to them if I can't run with them outside, and if I can't chase my 2-year-old, and what kind of mom am I to them? That's not the mom I wanted to be. So then I met Corey, and here we are. So that's that. Sorry, it was kind of long and drawn out there, but just kind of want to tell you guys about that. So she had asked me to share with you guys kind of some things that had worked for me in doing this, and like I said, I felt very unworthy talking to you guys. And I guess maybe I just feel like it's all things that are, I don't want to say common sense, because I feel like it's kind of demeaning, but things that come very easily, I guess, to me. And I feel like they should come easily to all of you. I have a nursing background. Like I said, I could get an A in my biology and anatomy and microbiology, and I got a C in public speaking. I'm not a business person at all. I just did what made sense, I guess, and what came easy to me. So I don't know. I guess I kind of made a list of things that I think contributed to me being where I am today. So the first thing that I think really made a huge difference is I put just be open to learning, no matter where it comes from, whether it's Corey, whether it's someone else on the team, whether it's, someone that is on another team. Just be open to learning. When I first started doing this, I'm someone that has to know everything about everything. And I bombarded Corey with questions all the time. And I was always like, I'm sorry, but I have another question. And I have to know the ins and outs of everything. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos from other coaches, the more like really big successful coaches and stuff like that. And I kind of like, in doing that, I listened to so many hours and hours and hours of videos. But I like kind of tried to find people that I felt like I kind of clicked with, like Alyssa Schumacher, for example, was a nurse too. And her story is a lot like mine. Like she also, you know, saw what chronic illness did to people. And that's kind of why she started doing this too. You know, I know, Lindsay Matway, for example, had a really rough childhood, you know, grew up with a single mom and stuff like that. So those were all things that I was like, you know, could kind of relate to and stuff like that. So those parts of their story really hit home with me, and it kind of made it easier for me to relay why I was doing this to other people. So I think that helped me a lot. And, you know, I didn't sit in front of my computer for hours and hours. I know we all have lives, and I know we can't do that. But since I would pull it up on YouTube on my phone, and I would just let it play while I'm folding laundry, while I'm making dinner, while I'm going, you know, while I'm exercising, whatever. I just feel like sitting there and listening to other people's perspectives a lot of times gave insight that I hadn't even thought of. And I just did that for literally hours at a time. And I truly believe that really, really helped me a lot. Another thing that I've done a few times since Corey started posting the links to like Kelly's calls is I've jumped on there. And that was huge too. Like, I feel like that also, once again, gave me a lot of insight to things that I hadn't thought of. I think it was like, maybe last month or the month before, you had posted about Pat's call that did with Kelly. I took like 5 pages of notes, and I had no intention of doing that. Like, I turned it on while I was making dinner, and the stuff that he was saying, I was just like, yes. And I like stopped making dinner, and I just started taking notes. And I took so many notes, and he really talked about challenge groups and, why he really focuses on his challenge groups. And I feel like since I've listened to that call, I've really put more effort into my challenge groups, and in turn, my challengers are the bomb. Like, they're so awesome. And not only that, but like, I look forward every morning and waking up and talking to them, because they're so much fun to talk to. And I have relationships with them. Like, there's a lady in Texas. She was a lead, that was given to me, and she joined a challenge group, and like, we are friends. We text each other. She's probably 50 and but she is just one of the coolest people I've ever met, and she had a huge transformation. I posted it on sorry, I need to drink. I posted it on my page a couple times. She had like super significant transformation, and I just love her. She's just so awesome. But I feel like had I not listened to that, I don't think I would have changed the way I was doing things, and I may not be where I am right now. I think that made a huge difference. So just always have an open mind, no matter what, and I think it's probably important for as long as you do this to always have an open mind. I know in nursing, you always have to have an open mind. You always have to be willing to learn. And I think this is a lot like that. As you go forward, you're always going to learn new things, and you're always going to hear a new perspective. And it might not be for you, but as you build a team of coaches, you might say, oh, that kind of reminds me of this person or this person, so maybe that's something you can take away for them and tell them and give to them, even if it doesn't directly pertain to you. And the same thing with like your personal development. You do it for you, and you do it for your mindset. But like Miracle Morning, I've had so much takeaway from that book. As many of you know, it is really hard for me to get up in the morning. I've never been the person to get up as soon as my alarm goes off. And I've just really learned so much from that book, things that I've never even thought about. And it's just really, I think, really changed the way I look at things, not even getting up in the morning, just things in general that, like you said, if you say you're not a morning person, then you're not going to be a morning person. You have to get out of that mindset, and you have to tell yourself that, like, I'm going to do this. And that's what I do now. So I don't say I'm not a morning person anymore. I'm trying to be a morning person, and I will in time. It's just an adjustment. I worked night shift for 5 years, so I'm getting there. But it's just, if you haven't read it, I really recommend it. It's really helped me a lot. So once again, just be open to learning. Always. Another thing, I think the second, number 2 on my list was plan. And this has also been a learning experience for me. I've not been known for my organization skills, but that was one of my New Year's resolutions, was to become more organized. And I wish I could like show you my desk area here, because it's pretty impressive, because before I never even had a desk. It was just a disaster, but now it's all nice and organized and I know where things are, and it's really nice. If you guys aren't organized, it makes a big difference in your life. So with organization comes planning. And I've really tried to be more consistent. I think I'm pretty consistent with posting every day, but I feel like I just kind of like, I'll do this today, I'll say this today. And I've tried over the last few weeks to be mindful of making a plan. And it's not like I plan, at 2:00 I'm going to post this and at 5:00 I'm going to post this. It's just I sit down Sunday, like I know I post like something motivational every morning. Coria told me about that. That would be my 3-year-old yelling for me. So I do that every morning without fail. I schedule that through Buffer so easy. It takes 3 minutes to do that. And then I've just kind of made like a rough draft of Monday. I want to, post about this. Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday, I basically try to do. Wednesday, I try to do like wellness tips, right? I try to do wellness Wednesday tips. I think that just comes from like my nursing background and need to like tell people, you should do this to take care of your heart, or whatever it may be for that day. Thursday, Tuesday I'll do like recipes a lot too, stuff like that. So I just super rough draft of what I'm going to post, but I kind of have in mind every day what I'm going to post at some point during the day. So that's really helped me, I think. And then I also, actually, I can probably find it here. I started doing like a monthly calendar because I was like listening, I don't even remember who it was, but I was listening to someone talk and they had said, make a calendar, like make your plan for the month. And then, in your head, it's easy to say, I want to do a challenge group this week, or I'm going to do a clean eating group this week. But unless you really make a plan and write it down, it's so easy to get off track and not do it. If you write it down, you're committed to it, and then you can you're held accountable for it. So here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I plan out my month. And this is August, and yeah, hard to see, but that's what I do. I kind of said I want to do a clean eating group this week, and then I'm going to start promoting my next challenge group this day, and then send, our invites for that What Is Coaching call. I have our team calls in. I have create my challenge group event here, start posting it here. And that's really helped me, especially because I am so ADD. It's really helped me to stay on task. Especially with this, we're moving this month. We just bought a house, we're moving, school starting, and that's really helped me to stay on task when things get hectic. So really, if you don't do that, or if you're newer, I would say, I wish that's something I would have started right away, but you learn as you go, and that's okay. But if you're newer, and you're struggling, that's one thing I think I can say that would probably really help you, is really sit down at the end of the month and write down, for the next month what you want to do. And it doesn't have to be as detailed as that is, but just have an idea in mind. This week I'm going to do this, and this week I'm going to do this. And as you go, I think as you grow in this, you will get to a point where you'll say, okay, this is the day I'm going to post this, and this is the day I'm going to start advertising for this and stuff. But at least if you have somewhat of a plan written down, then it's going to hold you accountable. If it's written down and you're looking at it and it's on your calendar, it's going to hold you accountable to doing that. And those are all things that you should be doing every month to grow. You should be having a challenge group every month if you want to grow. I wouldn't have coaches under me if I didn't have a challenge group every month. Easy as that. So that's something I think you really have to do every month. The third thing is consistency, and I know you guys hear it over and over again. Consistency is the key to this, and it 110% is true. And I didn't understand that, I think, until probably last month, or maybe even the month before that. Consistency is really key to this. Obviously, you just start out and you post, and your posts get overlooked because everybody's posting stuff, and it's so easy to just get lost amongst everybody else. But when you keep posting and keep posting, I know eventually in time people are like, okay, this girl is not shutting up about what she's talking about, so maybe I'll listen and stuff. And then I think that's where a lot of, even if it's just curiosity, I think that's where a lot of that comes from, is just oh, what is she doing? And then, you post your transformation, there's transformation of your people in your group. And then those always get engagement. Those always get messages. Anytime I post a transformation pic, whether it's mine or someone else's, I have 5-6 messages in my inbox. Even if they say, what are you doing? You know, what is a challenge group? They might not join. They might not have any interest in joining, but they're asking about it. They're engaging, and they're going to keep watching from here on out. And they're eventually, because that's what I did. I watched and I asked about it, and I'm like, you know, what is that? And then I continued to watch, and I just got to a point where I was so fed up with myself that I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it. So even if you feel like no one's listening to what you have to say, just keep posting. I promise you guys, I promise people will come around. I promise. I've had posts myself where I like take so much time to plan it and make it, and it's cute, and no one comments on it. No one likes it. So, you know, of course it's always like, well, that kind of sucks. That's okay. Just figure out, like, try something different next time. It's all an experiment. You know, maybe you posted it at a bad time. Maybe, you know, I don't know, a variety of things, but just try something different next time. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean that, you know, you're not doing good in this. It just means you need to try something different. And that's what so much of this is just experimenting and seeing what works and what doesn't. And that's how I learned, you know, and that's how you're going to continue to learn in this. Just be consistent. Just post every single day. Even if you don't have a plan, even if you don't know where you're, post something every single day. Just make your presence known, because like I said, if people see you enough, they're going to know that you mean what you're doing, and you're confident in what you're doing. Even if you're not confident, they're going to see you posting, and that's what's going to come across, is that you're confident. Never, you know, this is something I you know, put down, because I feel like, again, this has really helped me. And this goes with consistency. Never stop inviting, commenting, liking, and engaging. People that have flat out ignored me multiple times. Like, there's people I would message just to say hi, flat out ignored me, didn't reply. And I know they see my messages. I would message them a month later, still no reply. These are people that I like know very well, flat out ignored me. Never liked my post, commented, engaged, but I never stopped commenting on their stuff. I never stopped liking their things. I never stopped engaging with them, because why would I? You know, I mean, I have no reason not to. I never stopped talking to them. You know, you're not the only one. I never stopped talking to them. You know, if something cool happened, you know, that's awesome, girl, good job. You know, even if they ignored me, I still always did that. And I'll tell you what, in the last 2 weeks, 2 of those people that have flat out ignored me, never replied to me, have messaged me. Okay, can we talk about what you're doing, because I really need help? Or, okay, you know, I'm at a place now where I really want to get started. My kids are going back to school, and, you know, I'm going to be back in a routine. So, you know, can we talk about what you're doing? And you know, I really want to, you know, be a part of your next group or whatever. I try to like limit my group to like 6 to 8, because I like to talk to people and really get to know people. And I feel like any more than that, I just can't right now. And I literally have like 8 people that are like pretty committed to joining, and more people still asking. And these are all people that have ignored me flat out. Like, never commented on anything, never even liked anything. And these are all people that have come to me, messaged me, you know, can you help me and stuff. So don't stop, no matter what, even if they ignore you. Just keep going. Number 4 is be willing to be uncomfortable. And this is a huge one. Obviously, I'm on this call, as I've told you, this is really hard for me. But just be willing to be uncomfortable. And the way I kind of started looking at it as like, if people don't like what I say, or if people think what I say is dumb, like, who cares? Thanks, Corey. If you know, who cares if they think my post is dumb? Who cares if they're tired of seeing what I say? Then don't look at it. You know, unfollow me, whatever. I don't care. You know, and as far as I'm concerned, I've been doing this since March, and I have like 1,800 friends. So apparently I haven't offended that many people. That's the way I look at it as. So I don't care. I've just gotten to a point where, you know, whatever, I don't care. You know, talk to strangers. Once again, if they don't want you to talk to them, or if they think you're weird, they're a stranger. Who cares if you never talk to them again? You know, at least you tried. That's why I look at it as, I'm like, well, I'll never see that person again in my life, so who cares? You know, what does it matter, really? videos. This is once again something that I've struggled with, but I will say that since I've tried to do videos, I was shocked at how much engagement I actually get. Like I did one about a month ago when I was like going for a run, and Landon was trying to jog with me, and I did a live video on Facebook. I had like 10 people watching it, 30 or 40 something likes on it. People were commenting on it. People texted me about it. And it was just a video of me jogging with Landon. And that was actually the first live video I did. And that was, I think, right after Corey had asked me to do this. And I was like, all right, I need to get used to like doing this, talking in front of a camera and people. So that's why I did it, honestly. And I was literally in shock. I'm like this was like a 50-second video, and I couldn't believe how many people watched and commented and stuff. Even if what you think is dumb, like it could be your dog like chasing its tail or something. I mean, just get in front of the camera, because people want to see that you're a real person, especially if you have a lot of friends that are strangers, which I mean, I know a lot of us have been adding new people, and a lot of those people might not know you, but if you get in front of a camera and they're able to see that you're a real person just like them. Like I have baskets of laundry in my house. I guarantee you that 9 out of 10 women or moms that you talk to probably have multiple baskets of laundry in their house too. And they want to see that you're real, and that's real, because that's what's relatable to people. I promise. It's working for me. I didn't think it would, but it works. So just, no matter what, even if you think you don't have anything to say, you do. Yeah, you do. I'm almost done, I promise. Let me see. On my last thing, the last thing I put is just be you and be proud, of you and where you are today. Every one of us is here because we want to be a better person, and that is nothing to be ashamed of. And like I said, if no one wants to hear about it, and if people don't like that, then who cares? Who really cares? Because that's not someone that you need in your life. Don't be ashamed of your past, no matter where you've been or where you've come from. Like I've all told you things, tonight that probably a lot of people don't know, that like my ex-husband is in prison. I was a single mom. I raised my baby all by myself. A lot of people don't know that. From the outside looking in, people probably thought I had it all together as a nurse, and a lot of people probably don't know that, but that's allowed me to become relatable to people that have been single moms. In being a single mom, that is hands down the hardest job I have ever done in my life. And if any of you are single moms, you can relate. Hardest thing I've ever done. Absolutely, hands down. I would, harder than going to nursing school, harder than being a nurse, being a single mom, because it doesn't end. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just you. And that's allowed me to relate to others. So don't be ashamed of that. It's something that I didn't want to talk about for a long time, because I felt ashamed that what had happened to my marriage, and that I was divorced, and that I was a single mom. And then I got to a point where I didn't care anymore, because that's maybe who I am today. I wouldn't be this person if I hadn't gone through hell and back. If I hadn't gone through some of the worst days of my life, I don't think I would. For one, I don't think I would be here today. And for two, I don't think I would have such an appreciation of where I am today had I not gone through that. Because if I look back and see where I was, especially in those days, and then I looked where I am now, I've just grown so much as a person. And it has nothing to do with losing, 30, 40 pounds or whatever it is. It has zero to do with that. It's what's inside and the person that I've become inside. And I'm genuinely happy every single day. Like, things might happen. Corey can tell you I had the roughest week of my life last week, just with moving, and things happen like with my regular job that I do. And I was a mess last week, but I woke up every day happy. I woke up every day with a will and, desire to live, and just a fire to talk to people and share, what I know with people every single day. Even though it was hard, some days are hard. And even though, some days I just feel so wore thin, I'm still happy every single day. And that was not me before. So just share that, guys. Don't be ashamed. You're where you're at for a reason. And you're here for a reason. And you might have to think about it. What really led me here? And, what is my story that I want to share with people? Because I had to do that too. Actually, I had to do that before I got on tonight. but it's okay. Share that with people. People want to hear that, and you will be surprised at how your relationships with people that you're talking to will grow because of that. I had a 3.5-hour conversation last night on Facebook Messenger with a girl I hadn't talked to probably in 6 years. So that was really cool to be able to have that conversation and really develop a relationship like that with someone that I haven't talked to, because she had no idea about, she actually went to high school with my ex-husband, and she had no idea any of that happened. And we just talked and talked, and it was, she's like, I had no clue. Like, I thought everything was good. Like, your life always just seemed so good. And so she had no clue. So just share that with people. They want to know. And also, I think it's easy to look at people and, wish you were where they were, look at whether it's Corey or Kelly or really successful coaches. And you're like, well, I wish I was there. I wish I was making $5,000 a week. And I think it's easy to kind of get down on yourself, but don't focus on that. Don't focus on, you not being, where you want to be or what you haven't done yet. Because once again, most people, 9 out of 10 people that you talk to probably aren't going to be able to relate to that. And 9 out of 10 people, are probably just living day to day, paycheck to paycheck. And that's not even a thought in their mind. So, you might think that you don't have anything to share with people because, you're not super successful or whatever your definition of super successful is. But you do have something to share with people, whether it's monetary or not. You can say, this is what has done for my life. I have met some of the best friends I have through doing this. I have become a better person because of doing this. I get to go on trips because of this. No matter what, you do have something to share. You do. You might not think you do, but you do. And, people can relate to, I was able to make my car payment this month by doing this. People, like I said, people can't relate. So I make $5,000 a week, but when you say I was able to put, a tank of gas in my car because of, me doing beach body 8 to 10 hours a week, I was able to make a car payment. I was able to pay for my, child's daycare this month because of this, part-time job that I have from home. That's relatable to people, especially people that, really might be struggling financially. They might say that might be huge to them. When I was struggling financially, as a single mom, that's huge to me. Sometimes I went week to week wondering how I was going to put gas in my car or buy groceries. And, 3 years ago, I would have jumped at the opportunity to work from home and make $50 extra a week just to have in, in my bank account, because I never had extra money in my bank account. So even though it seems small to you, it's significant to someone else. So, share that with people. It's relatable. And just, really just think about what this has done for you. Like I said, financially or not, just think about where you are and where you've come from and the person you are today. Your better health, friendships, the personal development you read. Just think about that. Think about what it's done for you and, where you would be if you weren't here today. So that's all. I'm done. Thank you all for listening. I know I talked for a really long time and I'm sorry, but thank you all for being here. So that's all.
No, you did amazing. Thank you so much. It's very clear why people follow you and why people become engaged and intrigued with you, because you're so passionate. You're open to sharing your story and allowing your mess to be your message. And your passion and confidence is infectious. Like, you might not have felt like excited to do this and you might have felt anxious, but you did so good. And the points that you touched on are vital points that we have to remember. And sometimes, even though like consistency is something we hear every freaking time we have a call, like sometimes it's just hearing it from a different perspective and how that has helped you grow so quickly, so thank you so much for that. Do any of you girls have any questions before we wrap things up? No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you all so much for jumping on the call. Marguerite, thank you so much for sharing your story. That was awesome. I really appreciate you doing that. I know it was, thumbs up. And, you shared a lot of your, you shared a lot of your story. And, a lot of times people, okay, that was creepy, Matt. You know, a lot of times we're afraid to share all that, but I think that you're right that people have to know where you come from, and it does make you more relatable. So don't be afraid to share that with people. So awesome job, girl. I loved it. You did an awesome, awesome job. I hope that everybody got some takeaways from that because you are knocking it out of the park and killing
Thank you.
So
Thanks.
close to diamond.
So close. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Gosh darn it.
All right, cool. Well, if you guys are not staying for the new coach mentoring call, you can jump off of the call and we'll talk next week. Otherwise, stay on the call and we'll get started with our mentoring call.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, girl.
Bye. Bye.